In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start Amazon FBA in 2026 from zero. This is a full-length free course breaking down everything. No upsell in the middle, no sign up to get the real stuff. This is the real stuff. I listed my first product on February 28th, 2023. Within the next 30 days, I had made my first $10,000 in revenue online. That was also my first ever sale through any online business. Before that, I had tried Shopify dropshipping and never made a single sale, not one. So when I tell you this works, I'm not someone who made his money teaching people about Amazon. I built an actual Amazon business first. And in this video, I am handing you the exact roadmap I used and the same roadmap I walk every student through today. How to get your account set up, how to get ungated to sell name brands, how to find wholesale distributors, and how to secure your first pallet, and how to actually make money on this platform. Watch this all the way through and take notes. By the end of this, you will have everything you need to start. Let's get into it. What Amazon FBA actually is and why it works in 2026. Before we get into the steps, I want to make sure you actually understand what Amazon FBA is and why I chose this model over everything else I looked at. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. Here's what that means in plain terms. You source products, you send them to Amazon's warehouse, and when someone buys, Amazon picks it, packs it, and ships it to the customer. They handle customer service, they handle the returns. You are using their infrastructure, the Prime badge, and their customer base, which is over 300 million active users. You are not building a Shopify store and hoping someone finds it. You're putting products in front of people who are already buying on Amazon with their credit card out, ready to buy something they already know they want. Here's the thing most people do not realize. Over 60% of all of Amazon sales come from third-party sellers. That means people like me and the students I work with are doing more than half the volume on one of the largest retail platforms in the world. This is not a niche opportunity. This is a real business model used by real people at every level of scale. The question is not whether Amazon works. The question is whether you are doing it the right way. Why wholesale and not the other models? People always ask me why wholesale? Why not private label? Why not retail arbitrage? Why not just flip stuff you find on clearance? I looked at everything when I first started. I went down every rabbit hole, and here's how I actually think about the models. Retail arbitrage means you are physically going to Walmart, TJ Maxx, wherever, scanning products with your phone, buying clearance items and flipping them on Amazon. It does work, but it is a hustle that does not scale. The moment you stop going to stores, the business stops. You're trading time for every single unit. Online arbitrage is the same concept, but you're hunting deals online instead of in stores. Same problem. You're constantly chasing the next deal, margins compress fast, competition is heavy, and there's no real foundation underneath it. Private label means you're manufacturing your own product, usually overseas, building your own brand from scratch, and trying to create demand for something new. High upside if you actually get it right, but you need serious capital, you need to navigate overseas manufacturing and shipping. And if it does not land, you're sitting on a warehouse full of product that nobody wants. That is a hard way to start. Wholesale is different. You're buying directly from authorized distributors and reselling established products that already have demand on Amazon. Think Tide, Dove, Gain, products that people already search for, already trust, and already buy on repeat. You're not creating demand, you're tapping into demand that already exists. Your margins are predictable, your supply chain is repeatable, and you can actually build something that scales. That is why I do wholesale. That is why I teach wholesale. It is the model that gives someone starting out from zero the best shot at building something real. The buy box, the concept that makes this all make sense. Before we even get into the account setup, I want to cover one concept, because once you understand this, the whole business model clicks. On Amazon, when you search for a product, say a bottle of Tide or a pack of Dove soap, there's usually only one product listing, not 50 different listings for the same item. One listing. And on that one listing, multiple sellers can be approved to sell that exact product. They all share the same listing. The buy box is the button that says add to cart and buy now. Whoever is winning the buy box is getting the sale. Amazon rotates the buy box between approved sellers based on their price, fulfillment method, seller metrics, and a few other factors. But the key point is this: you do not have to create a product. You do not have to build a brand. You just find a product that already sells, you get approved to sell it, you list your inventory on the same shared listing, and when you win the buy box, you get the sell. There are no ads, there is no marketing budget. There is no audience you have to build. You source the right products, you get ungated to sell them, and Amazon puts your inventory in front of buyers who are already looking for that item. That is the business model. That is what makes this different from almost every other online business model out there. And once people actually understand that, they stop overthinking it. Setting up your Amazon seller account. Let's get into the actual steps. The first thing you need is a seller account. Go to sell.amazon.com. Amazon is going to ask you for information, and I want to walk you through exactly what to have ready so you're not hitting walls on day one. First, your business entity. You can start as a sole proprietor under your own name, but I strongly recommend setting up an LLC. Here's why this matters beyond just protection. When you go out to wholesale distributors to open accounts, they take you way more seriously when you have a real business entity. And when you submit invoices for ungating, the legal entity name on your Amazon account needs to match exactly what is on that invoice. We will cover ungating in depth in a minute, but know this for now, get the LLC set up early. Second, your EIN, your employer identification number. If you have an LLC, you already have one. If you're operating as a sole proprietor, you can use your social security number, but the LLC is the right move. Third, a bank account tied to your business. Amazon deposits your payouts directly to this. Fourth, a credit card for seller fees. Number 5, your government ID. Amazon will verify your identity, so have it ready. Now, individual account or professional account. Individual is free, but you pay 99 cents per item sold. Professional is $39.99 per month, and the per item fee goes away. If you're serious about this, and if you're watching this video, you are, go professional day one. At the volume you're going to be doing, $39.99 is irrelevant. Once your account is open with Amazon, they will walk you through the identity verification. Be patient with this, upload everything clearly. It might take 1 to 3 days, that's normal. Start with the US marketplace, Amazon.com. Other markets can come later, but build here first. FBA versus FBM, what you need to know. You're going to see 2 options in your seller account, FBA and FBM. You need to know exactly what both mean and when to use which one. FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, you ship your inventory into Amazon's fulfillment centers. When someone orders, Amazon handles everything: picking, packing, shipping, customer service, and the returns. Your products are eligible for prime shipping, and that is what I use, and that's what I recommend for wholesale. FBM, fulfilled by merchant. You list on Amazon, but you are your own warehouse. You store the inventory yourself, you pack the orders yourself, and when the sale comes through, Amazon gives you the option to print the shipping labels right inside the seller central. You choose a carrier, whether that is UPS, USPS, or FedEx, whichever gives you the best rates, and you ship it yourself. So when does FBM make sense? There are specific situations: oversized items where FBA fees would eat your margin, products that move slowly where long-term storage fees would stack up, certain categories where FBM works better for the numbers. But as a default, when you're doing wholesale, FBA is your lane. Amazon's infrastructure is the whole point. You're not trying to run a warehouse. The way I think about it is simple. FBA costs more in fees, but it buys you time and it scales. FBM saves on fees but costs you time and caps your growth. At the level we're building toward, time is way more valuable than the fee savings. Ungating, the number one thing people get stuck on. Alright, so this is the section where most people get stuck on, and this is where I add the most value, so pay attention. When you first open your Amazon Seller Central account, you are restricted from selling most name brand products. Amazon calls this being gated. To sell those products, you need to go through an approval process and get ungated. Why does this matter so much? Because wholesale is built on selling established brands. Products people already know, already buy. Tide, Dove, Gain, name brands with real search volume and real repeat buyers. If you cannot get ungated for those brands, you cannot sell the products that actually move volume. This is the number one thing that people come to me stuck on. And here's what most people get wrong. They try to get ungated without the right documentation, without the right distributor relationship, and without understanding what Amazon actually needs to see on an invoice. They apply, they get rejected, and they assume it's impossible. It is not impossible. You just have to do it exactly right. In 2026, Amazon often requires invoices showing anywhere from 100 to 400 units purchased to get approved for many name brands. That is the number one thing most YouTube videos leave out. They show you how to apply, but they do not tell you that your invoice needs to show that kind of volume or Amazon's not going to approve you. Here is the exact process. Step 1, decide which brand or category you want to get ungated for. Know your target before you actually start. Step 2, open an account with an authorized distributor and place an order for enough units to meet Amazon's requirement. For most brands in 2026, that means at least 100, 400 units depending on the brand. This is why your distributor relationship matters so much. The invoice from that order is what gets you through. Step 3, make sure the invoice is correct. This is where most people fail. The legal entity name on your Amazon account must match the name on the invoice exactly. The address must match. The product on the invoice must be the same product you are trying to get approved to sell on Amazon. The quantity must meet the requirement, and the invoice needs to be recent, usually within the last 90 days. One piece off, the entire application application falls apart. Step 4, go into the Seller Central. Find the listing for the product you want to sell, click apply to sell, and upload your invoice that Amazon requests. This is where having the right distributor relationship saves you. Step 5, follow up. If Amazon asks for more information, respond quickly and completely. Do not let the application sit. You need to stay on top of it. The reason my students get through this within the first few weeks is because they already have the right distributor relationships from day one. And I'm walking them through the application directly on live calls, 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm looking at their accounts, their applications in real time, and that is the difference between doing this alone and doing it with someone who has already been through it hundreds of times. Real quick, if you're getting value from this, every Sunday I run a free live webinar where I go deep on this stuff. Live, interactive, and you can ask me questions directly. The link is in the description. How to find wholesale distributors. This is where most people in this space are completely failing their audience. They talk about wholesale, but they never actually tell you how to find distributors or how to evaluate whether one is legitimate. Let me break down what a wholesale distributor actually is first, because there is a lot of confusion. A manufacturer, think Procter & Gamble, Unilever, they make the product. A distributor is an authorized middleman between that manufacturer and retailers like me. The manufacturer cannot sell directly to every small seller, so they work through distributors. Distributors buy in massive volume from the manufacturer and sell to businesses. When you buy from an authorized distributor, you have a legitimate supply chain, a real invoice, and the documentation Amazon needs to see when you apply for ungating. Now, how do you actually find them? The first method is trade shows. There are wholesale trade shows like ASD Market Week in Las Vegas, where distributors come to meet buyers. You can walk in, you make the connections, you could open the accounts. This is one of the fastest ways to build real relationships, and you can buy product on the spot. The second method is direct research. Take a brand you want to sell, Google that brand name along with the authorized distributor or wholesale distributor, and a lot of brands have publicly available distributor lists. You can call those distributors directly and open an account. The third method is tools and databases that compile distributor information. This compresses the research process significantly and lets you actually find contacts faster than doing it manually. The fourth method is the network. This is the most powerful one and the hardest to access on your own. When you are connected to people who are already doing this at a high level, you get introductions to distributors, you get access to relationships that took other people years to build. This is one of the main things I bring to the table for the people I work with. I've been building distributor relationships for over 3.5 years now. I've visited distributors in person, met reps face to face, and built a list of over 50 vetted distributors that I use and teach from. Household Essentials, Tide, Dove, Gain, products that move consistently and have real repeat demand. That list compresses years of relationship building into weeks for the people I work with. When you're reaching out to open a distributor account, here's what to have ready: your LLC documentation, your EIN number, and a resale certificate for your state, which is a document that exempts you from paying sales tax on wholesale purchases. Present yourself as a business. How you show up matters. One more thing on evaluating whether a distributor is legitimate. I always verify that they have real physical operation. Most legitimate distributors will have a warehouse, a product showroom, or a physical location where inventory could be sourced or picked up. If a distributor is operating entirely online with no visible business presence, no warehouse, no physical address you can verify, be cautious. That is usually a red flag, and I teach my students to avoid those. Product research, how to find what to sell. A lot of people overthink this. I'm gonna make it simple. In wholesale, you are not inventing demand. You're finding products that already sell well on Amazon, sourcing them from a distributor, and then moving volume. The research process is about finding the right combination of demand, margin, and competition. Here's what I look at before I source anything. First is the sales volume. Before I place any order, I wanna verify the product is selling at least 300 units per month on Amazon. This is my baseline. If a product is not moving at least 300 units per month on the listing, I'm not interested. I'll use tools like Smart Scout to pull historical sales data and confirm this is consistent, not just a spike. Second is the price history. Again, I'll use tools like Smart Scout and I look at how the price has moved over time. Has it been stable? Has it dropped significantly? Stable pricing means the market is not saturated and margins are holding. A product where the chart keeps dropping is a product where way too many sellers have piled in and they're racing each other to the bottom. I stay away from those. Third is the number of sellers on the listing. The fewer sellers competing for the buy box, the better your rotation and more consistent your sales will be. I look for listings where the competition is manageable. Fourth, the margin math. When I buy wholesale, I'm typically purchasing at a meaningful discount discount to the retail price. After Amazon FBA fees, which include fulfillment fees and referral fees, I want to be looking at a minimum 50% ROI. Ideally, I want to see opportunities at 100% ROI or higher. Those do exist. You got to think about it. Buy a product for $4. After all fees, you profit $4, 100% ROI. You just have to know how to find them. I use Amazon's own FBA revenue calculator, which is free, to run the math before I spend $1. The tools I use are Smart Scout for price and sales history, the Amazon FBA revenue calculator for margin math, and I use SellerAmp for analyzing products faster at scale. You do not need all of these on day one. Start with SellerAmp and the FBA calculator. That will get you moving. Your first order, buying and sending inventory to Amazon. You've done your research, you've found the product, you have a distributor. Now let's talk about placing your first order and actually getting inventory into Amazon. Step 1, place the order with your distributor. You have opened the account, you know what you want, the numbers make sense, place the order. Keep your invoice, you're gonna need it for your records and for ungating. Step 2, receive and inspect the inventory. When it arrives, check it. Make sure what you ordered is what you got and check for damaged units. Amazon has strict requirements around product condition. Anything going in as new needs to be genuinely new and undamaged. Step 3, prep your inventory. Depending on the product and category, Amazon may require specific prep work. Polybagging, bubble wrap, specific labeling. The requirements are all inside Seller Central under the FBA prep requirements. Some sellers use a prep center, which is a third-party facility, and receives your inventory, preps it to Amazon standards, and ships it to Amazon on your behalf. When you're starting out and managing your own volume, you prep at home or at your location, and as you scale, a prep center makes sense. Step 4, create a shipment plan inside the Seller Central. Go into manage inventory, find your product, and create the shipment. Amazon will tell you which fulfillment center to send the inventory to. Sometimes they split a shipment across multiple fulfillment centers. That is normal. Step 5, label your units. Every unit going into Amazon needs a scannable label. Amazon generates what is called an FNSKU label for each product. Make sure every unit is correctly labeled before anything ships. One unlabeled unit creates problems on the receiving end. Step 6, ship it. Box everything up and ship it to Amazon's fulfillment center. Use their partner carrier rates. They are discounted and it's worth it. Step 7, wait for check-in. Once Amazon receives your inventory, it gets checked in and made available for sale. This could take anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks depending on the fulfillment center. Once it goes live, you are selling. The 30-day roadmap. I want to give you a real roadmap. If you're starting from zero today, here's what the first 30 days should look like. It's the same sequence I walk every new student through. Week 1 is your foundation. Set up your LLC if you do not have one, open your business bank account, open the Amazon professional seller account, and start the process. While that's processing, you want to start researching what product categories you want to be in. Week 2 is about relationships and documentation. You start reaching out to distributors in your target category. Open at least 2 to 3 distributor accounts, place a small initial order to generate your first invoice, and submit your first ungating application with that invoice. Week 3 is product research and more application. You dig into research using SellerAmp and the FBA calculator, identify your first products to source, follow up on any ungating applications that are pending, and keep building distributor relationships. The more brands you are ungated in, the more options you have and the less competition you face. Week 4 is your first shipment. You place your first real inventory order based on your research, prep it, and ship it to Amazon's fulfillment center. And your first products go live on Amazon. You're selling. Now, is that going to happen exactly that way for everyone? Not always. Some people move faster, some hit friction on ungating or distributor approvals. But that is the sequence. And the reason students I work with are able to move through this within their first 30 days is because they're not doing it alone. They have me on 3 live Zooms a week, they have a community of people going through the same exact process, and they have a distributor list waiting for them the moment they join. They're not starting from scratch. A student named Muhammad joined on March 30th. In early April, he placed his first order of around 300 units to get ungated and spent roughly around $300. Within about a month, he was ready to purchase his first full pallet of Dove products, hundreds of units. And because he was already ungated, he was able to buy multiple products on that pallet. He sold through that inventory within his first 2 weeks. That's what moving with structure looks like. Managing and growing the business. Once your inventory is live, the work shifts. Now you're managing a real business, and here's how I think about it. Repricing. Amazon is competitive and prices move. You need to stay on top of your pricing, either manually or with an automated repricer tool. The goal is to win or maintain the buy box without racing to the bottom on price. Automated repricing tools handle this within whatever rules you set. Inventory management. Do not run out of stock on a product that's selling well. Going out of stock will cost you sales that are hard to recover, and do not overstock slow-moving products because Amazon charges long-term storage fees. Learning to read your sales velocity and planning reorders around it is one of the most important operational skills in this business. Cash flow. This is a skill most people underestimate. Amazon pays out every 2 weeks. Your wholesale orders get paid up front. There's a cash cycle to manage, and as you grow, you need more capital to fund larger orders. Understanding how to use business credit, credit cards, and lines of credit is part of building this the right way. Diversification. I do not over-leverage any single supplier or any single product. I work with multiple distributors, sell multiple products across different brands, and I operate in multiple categories on Amazon. That is how you build something stable and predictable. Being ungated in multiple brands also means less competition on each individual listing and more margin to work with. The business I have today runs with 2 employees handling most of what I used to do myself. Placing orders, arranging shipments into Amazon FBA, managing FBM operations. I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day on the business now, and some weeks I'm done within the first 2 to 3 days. That's what the business looks like once you've built the systems and team around it. That is everything. That is the full roadmap for starting Amazon FBA wholesale in 2026. From opening your account, to getting ungated, to finding distributors, to placing your first order and going live. I built this business for real, and my students are building this business for real. And now you have the same information I used to do it. You have 2 options from here. Option 1, take everything I just gave you, go do it yourself, and figure it out as you go. Genuinely, I do wish you the best, and this information is real and it works. Option 2, if you want to move faster, if you want someone looking at your actual account, walking you through your ungating applications, giving you access to distributor relationships that took 3.5 years to build, and being in a community of people all doing this at the same time, that is what I offer. Every Sunday, I run a free live webinar. I go deep on this stuff live, I answer questions directly, and you will see exactly how I teach and what I'm about. The link's in the description. Come through, see what we're building, and if it makes sense for you, we will talk. I will see you there.